Good evening, Domingo. Hey, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Hey, Domingo.
Hey, what's up? I try to get something to eat real quick for the meeting started.
Is the chat open?
I believe so. Yes, it is. The Q&A or the chat?
The chat.
No, the chat is not open.
All right. I just want to put my email address in because I'm going to invite some people for the community advisory meeting that I was talking about.
Oh, okay. So, like, does the Q&A allow you to ask a question? No.
Let me see. It says no open questions. If not, just give me your email address right now and I'll send you an email tomorrow.
Yeah, it's DEJR CBJR CB12M at gmail.com.
Okay.
So it's
all right.
D as in David, E as in elephant, J as in Jose, R as in Ralph, CB Charles Beta, whatever, and 12M at gmail.com.
All right, got it. Thank you.
Hey, Ellie.
Hey, Domingo, how are you?
Good. Been meaning to hit you up, pero muchacha, estoy just trying to finish off the holiday season right now.
I can imagine. You have my number whenever you have some time.
Yeah, because I know I spoke to the parents about the workshops and they love the idea, so they're with it.
Okay, did I ever send you I think I did, but if I didn't, I can send you the curriculum. I know I texted you, but I don't know if I emailed you the curriculum.
No, you didn't.
I'll send it to you so you can have at least an idea of what's available. If they're not interested in any of those topics, then we can speak offline and see what they were interested in and we can coordinate it.
Right now, lo que yo estoy interesado es a lot of tech stuff, you know, with like all these predators online, like parents don't feel too comfortable.
We have a cyber, I forgot the name exactly, but I think it's a cyber presentation to kind of like guide the young people and stuff like that. So we can definitely look.
More for the parents.
Oh, for the parents. Okay, sounds good. And we have it available in Spanish and English. So that's the good thing.
Hey, Gabriela, ¿cómo está?
My computer's dying. I'll be right back.
All right. ¿Me oye, Gabriela?
Ahora sí. This sometimes, you know, I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Todo bien.
Todo bien.
Hey, OC.
Hi.
This meeting, being that it is the last meeting before the New Year's, I'm gonna keep it so brief. Y'all will thank me in January. Hey, Jumi.
I have a question. I sent the minutes the day before the meeting. And
yeah, I think I forgot to support it. That was my fault.
No, but nobody else responded. So I was like, did anyone got it? And then I reply again. So I guess it didn't end up at the for the general meeting, but you
For
know,
me, for me, it was that I was watching it. I saw it during a PD, and those like mental notes that you're like, okay, I'll get back to it, and then you forget until you see the person.
okay,
Yeah, so that
no
was my
problem.
apologies. Also.
It's okay.
So I would say let's give it 2 more minutes. None of the precincts are here yet, are they? None of the precincts are here yet, and neither is the FDNY person, if I'm not mistaken.
Hello, Lieutenant Taveras from the 340s here.
Oh, okay, thank you. Oh, because I saw Christian Perez. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I'm under Christian Perez, yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So let's just give a few more minutes for the 33rd and for the fire department representative. I think we got quorum, right, Osi? We got 4, including myself.
And we are what, 8 or 7? 7 or 8?
I think we're 7 right now. All right, so I'll start. So all right, so welcome to our December meeting. As you could see, this year is blowing by. It's been an interesting year, but nonetheless, we're all here, and we're able to still advocate for our community. I just for my chair report. But well, before we start, did everybody review the agenda? Is basically just reports, new business, old business, and the chair report at the beginning. Nobody wants to add anything at the moment. Nobody wants to amend the agenda. Does anybody oppose? Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? I think that's going to be important to do.
I move to approve the agenda for tonight.
Second,
Okay. Does anybody oppose? Abstentions? All right. So basically, for my chair's report, I started off very interested, like trying to learn a little bit. I was put in a position where I wasn't too familiar with what's going on. But I think we're trying to like figure it out. You know, we tried to do the whole gun violence thing that I saw other elected officials were doing it. So I'm like, what's the purpose of us replicating what's already happening? Let's just work in collaboration. So being a chair for a month, honestly, like, and being that this is the last report of the year, it's been very interesting. But I think one thing for us that's going to be important moving forward is, and the way my brain works is, how could we move beyond just being reactionaries, beyond just reacting what's thrown our way, and really start planting seeds that truly impact our community, not just react to what's already out there, you know? And I think discussing public safety is extremely important because this is an issue that intersects at all levels. It's not just about the enforcement aspect, but also the preventative aspect and other areas as well, where we could like truly come as a community and truly define, when we say public safety, what does that mean for us, you know? And by us, I mean collectively, not just what you think, what the other person thinks, but like, what does public safety means for us? And that's one of the main reasons why I felt like I had to take a step back and truly like start diving deep and seeing what was being done before, and seeing ways that if, for instance, I'm in this position in January, we could start really truly doing impactful work, not just reports and calling it a night. And I think that was my biggest takeaway in the last month I have in this committee. Just being able to like truly work with our board members to truly create something that might not have been there before, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to not do it. So I think that's important. That's my chair report. I would also like to open it up to the rest of the committee members, just to see if they have some. I want to take this time to truly reflect on what the experience has been like this past year, so that we could start truly understanding what's a good way for all of us collectively to start, not just Domingo's agenda, but like, yo, Domingo, you slipping, we need this. You know what I'm saying? I think collectively we're stronger than just waiting for one person to really call the shots. So I'll call folks. So Gabriela, reflections of the year and some things that we could incorporate for next year that could truly help support what we seek to achieve in public safety.
Well, you caught me out of guard. But anyway, it's always so many things that we can be proactive. And I agree with you, more than react to a tragedy or something bad happening in the community, in our neighborhoods. We can always be part of the solution, right? A part of create ideas and so forth. I think, with the limitations of, our body, we are just, we don't have the power of making decisions. We only can recommend more than anything. But as you say, Domingo, aside of us being, community board members and public safety members of this committee, we are members of this community, and each one of us in our different, work environment and the different fields that we interact. I know that we can also collaborate and finding solutions, right, to the problems of our neighborhoods. So I think next meeting in January, probably we will be able to see things, with a new administration. That's another thing, we cannot go so far without the political, atmosphere. Actually, we depend on that. In order for us to be effective and to be proactive and to really get results. So I would say that on our meeting in January, probably we could come up with some, ideas for the upcoming month, and we can discuss. That's my 2 cents.
All right, thank you. OC?
So I think that because the community board speak through resolutions, I'm sure there are a few that we can think about that. I mean, at least there are 2 that I'm thinking about that we can put on the floor. And that may not be like sexy resolutions, but that's okay. That's how we speak. This is how we make recommendations. So for me, I know I spoke about it like 2 months ago, to incorporate previously incarcerated individuals into the community board as a rule, to have at least 2, with the potential to have one that is currently incarcerated. That will be maybe a little challenging, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I think that this is something we need to aim for, and maybe government officials will look at that in a more serious way when the resolution is in front of them. Maybe they didn't think about it, I'm not sure. The other thing is working on, this is, I feel that it's more complicated, but it should be done. Looking into a resolution that will ask I think it's the state on the state level to outlaw the 99-cent power, extension cords, because those, for more often than not, those are the ones that cause fire. We will see, unfortunately, I feel we will see more of those incidents now during Christmas, when people just hook up the trees and tree lights and so forth, and that is a serious thing. So there is no reason why we should not try to pass a resolution about that, even though it's may not be a sexy one, but I feel that we have an obligation to do that.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Osi. Jumina? Okay, she's just there. But yeah, so I took some note of that, Osi and now and Gabriela. And being that we're in a very interesting transition, a lot of board members left frequently. So let's see how our community, one thing I'm advocating for is for us to get new members. So let's see how that goes as well. Well, besides that, let's start off with our precinct reports and start off with the 3-4.
Good evening, everyone. Lieutenant Taveras here. So for the 28 days, so we have murder, 0 versus 0, rape, 0 versus 0, robberies, 22 versus 19, 15% increase, felony assault, 17 versus 13, 30% increase, burglaries, 15 versus 17, 5% decrease. Grand larceny, 38 versus 30, 26% increase. Grand larceny autos, 20 versus 1, 4% decrease. A breakdown of the felony assaults, they always ask me to give that breakdown. So felony assault with brass knuckle, we have 1. Knives, we have 6. Person shot, we have 2. And we have a total of 9, which are domestic. That could be broomstick. It could be any type of items that people use when they're fighting. That's my breakdown for the crimes for the 3-4.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there any questions from the board members? Osi?
Yeah, my $1 million question. Any animal abuse cases? Animal cruelty, I should say.
But no, for the 28 days, we don't have any.
Thank you.
Is there any community members that have any questions for the 3-4? Just raise your hand. Going once. Going twice. Okay, thank you so much, Lieutenant Taveras. Now we're gonna go shift over to the district attorney's office. We have Eli Silvestre.
Thank you, Domingo. I don't have a big report. I just kind of want to emphasize what you were speaking on about working together as community members, board members, law enforcement. I work for, of course, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, but my unit is called Community Partnerships Unit. And part of the mission of my unit is to increase access to our office, meaning any resources or any questions, concerns, ensuring that that open line of communication is always open. We pride ourselves in also raising awareness. We strongly believe that if we raise awareness into public safety concerns, whether it's DV, gun violence, any other scams, fraud, we are able to prevent a crime by providing educational programming and also building trusting relationships, meaning with our community partners, law enforcement, NYPD, and our office. So I definitely agree with you about not being reactive and more proactive, meaning working together. So whatever idea that the board might have and that might entail my office, Jocelyn and I are always available and we're here to help and support the community. So I just want to like piggyback on that, Domingo. So thank you for bringing it up. I also kind of wanted to just remind everyone it's the holiday season, meaning that we often see an uptick in scams and fraud. So be aware of who you share your contact information with or do not share your contact information with. Please be mindful that anyone can be a victim of a scam or fraud. It does not mean that it could be just an elder. So if you do believe that you were a victim of a crime, or you're not quite sure, please call our Washington Heights office. You can reach Jocelyn or I at our number. I'm just gonna give it out for our community members. It's 212-335-3320. Jocelyn is unfortunately down with a cold today, but she did ask me to please send her apologies. She sent her regards to everyone and she wishes a very happy holiday season to all of you. So do I, and on behalf of my office as well. So if you guys ever need anything, just reach out to us. And thank you for always having us. And it's nice to see you all.
Thank you so much. Just so folks know, Ellie was in the board and then she transitioned over to the DA's office.
So yes, B12 is always home, so it's always nice to be back here.
She always made sure that she looked out for the community regardless of the position she was at. Is there any questions for the representative from the DA's office, satellite office in Washington Heights? Hearing none, any community members have any question? Okay, thank you so much, Ellie.
Thank you. I do have another meeting before that I have to jump in, so I'm gonna log off in like about 10-20 minutes, but just wanted to put out there.
We should hopefully be done by then.
Okay, thank you.
So Ellie, I will reach out to you so we can figure out some collaborations within the school. It's just been a hectic few months, but I got you. All right, next up, since the 33rd is not here yet, we will go to Superintendent Miller.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy holidays. My pleasure to join you once again. Very quickly, my update for Edgecombe Correctional Facility, which is located at 611 Edgecombe between 163rd and 164th. We've been doing a fence project. We moved from the 163rd Street side. We're now on the 164th Street side. We were able to free up the sidewalk back to the community on 163rd. So I'm glad we were able to do that. We're hopeful to finish that project sometime next year. We are partners with the middle school next door to us, Middle School 328. We were able, along with the New York State Corrections Officer and Police Benevolent Association, to donate 50 turkeys to the middle school prior to Thanksgiving. So we were glad to do that. The school also asked us to be available to do some workshops with the kids. So we're gonna, they had a request about vaping and about bullying. So we're gonna work with them to do workshops for the students. As far as the population in the facility, we have the women work release and we have the general population men, as well as men coming from Rikers Island. We have no COVID for staff or population at all. We are subject to the state's mandate that staff has to either be vaccinated or submit weekly test results. The population has the option of getting the vaccine, or there is random testing that takes place. We didn't have any staff suspended for failing to adhere to that policy. Unfortunately, other facilities upstate did have to suspend staff for failure to comply. I had mentioned last month our annual community advisory meeting, so I have Domingo's email. I do want to have a representation from CB12. I'd also like to have the DA's office there, so I'll reach out to Ellie. I'd like to have the 33rd precinct, since they're right down the block from us, so I'll reach out to that commander. The date I'm looking at is December 17th. It would be 11 a.m. It would run into time to, eat lunch. Shouldn't be too long, but just to let you know that we consider ourselves a part of the community. We want to be good neighbors and to work with our community partners. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Miller. Does anybody have any questions in regards to Superintendent Miller's presentation, or anything around the Edgecombe facility? Community members? Okay, perfect. So with that being said, thank you. We have no representation from the fire department at the moment. I know that there was a fire that displaced 35 people this past weekend. I was looking forward to the report. I'll see if I could get her to come in for the, she's usually here all the time. I'll see if I could get her to come in for the general meeting. But in regards to the previous fires, I believe she provided updates, and there were outlet related, if I'm not mistaken. But with that being said, that comes to the end of our agenda. December's agenda is pretty short, but is there anything else anybody would like to discuss or raise any concerns that we should be discussing in this month's agenda?
Well, Domingo,
Yeah.
just to respond to the board members, one of the changes that the state made was to involve formerly incarcerated individuals into a lot of different things. So there's a reentry council that's on the state level that's responsible for a lot of the reform that you've seen advocated.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the rules are, but clearly if somebody's a member of the community and whether appointed or duly elected, should be able to serve on the community board. So, whatever you guys have to do with your bylaws, but I would think it would be a positive thing to hear from both sides, so to speak. The one thing that I say with the incarcerated individuals that we have coming to Edgecombe is the first thing I say to them is that we're a releasing facility, right? So that means that we want you to consider yourself a returning citizen. So how are you going to re-immerse yourself in the community and be productive and understand that your actions will make the community better and not hurt the community? So when we get them to buy in like that, it's easier for them to, then we can give them the message that we don't want you to recidivate and come back into custody. So if you go out and immerse yourself in positive things in the community, it's going to help your success and as well make the community that much more stronger. So, I'd certainly support, any kind of interaction or anything like that.
Yeah, OC has been championing that for several months now. She's been actively advocating to get more individuals who have been formerly and even incarcerated at the moment to get their input. So that's something that we can say that we could potentially collaborate in, being that we do have members within the committee who are actively involved in those conversations. Gabriela, followed by Ellie, and then we have a community member, Cassandra Callaso. So that Gabriel.
Thank you. I couldn't agree more with Superintendent Miller about this. And yes, I think not only felons, which I really don't like the term, but that's a reality, or people that has been convicted of a crime and has been served prison time. They are also human beings, and that the fact that that person made a mistake, pay for it, and is looking forward to come back to society, to the community, is something that we should all support. Because as I always say, you know, the world is round. One day you can be up and the next day you can be down. And it could be yourself, it could be your child, it could be anybody that go through that experience. And it's always so relieving when you have a second chance. And I always say that not everyone that is in prison is a criminal. And as the same way, not everybody that is not in prison is not a criminal. So it's kind of a little puzzle there. So yes, I really agree with that. And as I said before, OC, you know, please come in and whatever, you know, as a member and part of this community, you know, whatever that you think that I could be useful or helpful, by all means. On the other hand,
I thought should be that you should be the person to write a lot of that resolution, but you know, we can discuss that.
well, the problem is if I start writing that, you know, my accent will come up and then a lot of mistakes are coming over. So, you know, I'd rather that somebody that is more fluent in English will write it. And I can definitely be supportive.
I have an accent.
Yeah, I know. I'm just, you know, that's what I want you to say, so I don't feel alone. But anyway, that's on one side. The other thing is, those of us that were part of the general meeting, our last general meeting last week, Francisco Lopez, he gave a great idea. And when he said it, you know, I didn't want to like prolong the meeting because it was a long meeting and a lot of discussion, but I you know, I saved that idea to share it, you know, today. And great timing because of this unfortunate, you know, fire that happened over the weekend. And he said that why we don't provide fire extinguisher, that yes, giving turkey is wonderful, but we should provide, you know, fire extinguisher to our families. And I think that this is something that if there's any initiative, you know, definitely this committee should be involved because of, you know, obvious reasons. How we could shape that, how that could be, you know, of course, it's not going to be only us. We have to include the elected officials and the fire department and so forth. But I think it's a great idea. And I think that's something that we can discuss. So that's what I wanted to share.
I believe you were next, Ellie.
I was looking for the chat box and kept hitting the hand, but I just kind of wanted to also provide my phone number to Superintendent Miller, my cell phone, and to everybody else. So you can reach out to me because I would definitely love to participate in the Community Advisory Board. We also have a re-entry supervisor, Vincent. You probably already know him, I'm not sure, but he might be able to come along with me and, you know, just hear you guys out.
Stevenson, is it Vincent Stevenson?
Correct. Yeah, I work very closely with him, so maybe we can join you, both of us. So my cell phone is 347-749-2306. So you can text me, call me, and then if you need my email as well, I can provide it to you to make sure we are, you know, we have the information in order to be there.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Okay, perfect. Is there, I believe the community member that had her hand up or his hand up, is no longer an attendee. But if anybody in the attendee section would like to raise any concerns, provide any advice, feel free to do so now before we transition to closing the meeting. Yeah. So, Gabriela, that is a great idea. I was hoping we were going to be able to discuss it today, but I don't know. She's usually here every meeting, so I don't know what happened to the representative today. But I'll make sure.
We definitely will need the fire department.
Yeah, of course. And figure out, most importantly, and even something that I could take to the executive committee, right? There is funds that would allow us to potentially, we may not be able to do the whole community, but if every agency adopts a block, it's better than nothing, So I feel like that could be super impactful right there. We have Cherie F. Johnson, who has his hand up.
Yes. Hello. Good
Hey,
evening.
how's it going?
All right, you?
I'm doing okay.
Okay. I have a question. If you're trying to do something for the community, how do you go about getting like funding is for like the safety of the youth of tomorrow and the senior citizens?
Yeah, so there's different different funding streams. So ideally your local elected official, you have your city council member. When you have your state representatives, you have you have the mayor, your city council member, and then your borough president. That's at the city level ideally. And then you have your state representatives, which would be your assembly member and your senator, and then you have your federal representative. So when it comes to funds, I usually get funds from these individuals. So like, for instance, the community board got I believe some discretionary funds, if I'm not mistaken, some sort of money from Idanis Rodriguez. So that's why we're able to discuss to see how could we contribute in one way or another, but the funds are very limited compared to like the $2-3 million that a city council member manages per year in discretionary funds. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Thank you.
So a lot of it has to do with go talk to your local electeds and go with a proposal, because I'm sure people are telling them how they're going to change the world every day. But I guarantee you, if you go with a proposal and you let them know you're from the community, that's actually more powerful than just using the word of mouth.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No problem. Cassandra is back.
Yes, hi. Can everyone hear me?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Domingo. How are you? It's nice to see you again. I'm
Like,
sorry. I was on my daughter's iPad and it was at 1%, so I quickly jumped onto my phone.
Yeah.
For everyone that doesn't know me, I'm the Girl Scout troop leader in Inwood. And in reference to the fire that happened at 76 Post Avenue, which displaced, I think it's 42 families, we, in collaboration with Robert Jackson's office, are planning an event for them where we're going to be asking the community for donations of toys and other necessities. I'm just waiting for connections with their liaison who can tell me exactly the breakdown of how many kids, different ages. So it's going to be a big shindig from what we're trying to do for them, probably the weekend before the holidays. And I'm trying to get a Santa Claus and, just to give them some hope and let them know the community really cares about them. So it's a wonderful community project for my Girl Scouts. Yeah. And it'll be amazing for everyone to be involved. So everyone will hear about it. We're working with Johanna Garcia. She's planning on, having flyers put up, and we'll put up flyers. And I'm on all the community board meetings, so I'll make this announcement so everybody will know.
Okay, perfect.
As I get more specifics, but we're definitely planning on doing something for them.
Yeah, because I think like this is not for folks who are interested, this is not the first time there's a fire in that building. I believe it was a year or two ago, there was another big fire. And I think they were still fixing stuff up from the previous fires. So I think it's important to also note that, yeah, this is a recurring issue, and from my understanding, that building already has a lawsuit from the previous fire. So yeah, just a very interesting building to look into. And thank you so much, Cassandra, for raising it up.
You're welcome.
Does any other attendee that have any questions, concerns, any ideas they would like to raise, any suggestions for the committee before we wrap up? Okay, so in closing, I'm looking at the 17th. So it's I don't know if I was previously the chair of business development, and when we did an event in business, we did a cannabis event in business development where we brought in over 150 to 200 people in Zoom. And it seems like it's a very like people demonstrate a lot of interest in it. So I was talking to Francisco about it, potentially hosting an info session where we invite our local elected officials. For instance, I'm interested in getting a response from our Congressman, Adriano Espaillat, to talk about the IRS implications. Because at the end of the day, one thing we know that a big creator of crime is often money. So if we're looking for ways to mitigate a lot of these occurrences, I think we have to be creative in ways that we get people employed and people are already making money off of it. So if we could help them legalize, I think our community is headed towards the right direction. So that's for the committee members. We're looking at a potential collaboration on December 17th. I'm not sure yet, but I will keep I'll keep everybody informed via email. But it's just a info session where we discuss the ramifications of the war on drugs, but also at the same time partner up with the Business Development Committee to discuss what potential alternatives our community could take advantage of with this whole cannabis legalization. So if there's any questions, any concerns, now's the time to raise it. With nothing being said, could I thank you all. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Anybody opposed? Abstentions? Have a wonderful holidays. I look forward to seeing you all next year. Enjoy your New Year's. We still have our general meeting at the end of the month if you want to join us. But if you don't, Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and all
Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa.
And all the other holidays in between. Right? Thank you.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Take care, all.